Welcome to Windward TV. I'm your host, Kevin Schilter, and today we have a very special guest, Bob Arklie from the Support and Implementation Departments at Windward Software. Welcome, Bob.
Oh, thank you, Kevin, for having me today.
Today we're going to be talking everything about barcodes, and that goes right from the printing labels and how they're used inside the business, as well as about data collectors. So in the next two episodes, or in these two episodes, the first 5 minutes are going to be spent on labels, printing, and just what that looks like. Bob, you brought some examples, and in the following episode we'll be covering off more of the data collector devices and just what that looks like for a physical stock count. Bob, barcodes have been around for decades, and you were telling me an interesting story about how they were used originally by IBM. Would you share that story with us?
Sure, absolutely, Kevin. Well, like we say, barcode technology has been around for decades, and strangely enough, probably one of the most underutilized aspects in any sort of a integrated software system for businesses. Yes, like I was telling you before, I think IBM had developed the technology to track rail cars back in the 60s, and it's a lucrative integration in software today.
So why would a customer want to use barcodes? Obviously they're on everything. I've got an example of our Windward box has a barcode on it for scanning at point of sale. Why does it matter? Why does a customer want to do that?
Great question, Kevin. Two things that our customers are really trying to improve in any sort of aspect of their business. One is speed, and number two is accuracy. And barcodes will do that hands down.
Okay. You brought some samples today, or examples of kind of how they're used in the business. What'd you bring for us today?
Sure, Kevin. We got lots of little different samples here. Well, right here we have, you can see this kind of pertains more to the garden industry. As you can see here, this is normally known as what we call a pot sticker. Okay. Right? Okay. And a lot of
physically
exactly,
in the pot.
Yeah,
okay.
They put that into the plant, so that the customer can see that. There you go.
that happened really easily. So
well, it's very good. You could take one and give to the clerk, and the other one could stay in the pot if you wanted to do that. So that's quite common in industry. As you can tell, it's a very industrial type of, I guess, label. It is designed to withstand weather and the elements and so on. Okay. And again, with a lot of plants and so on being outside, that is very imperative. So that imperative to their business that these barcodes can withstand the elements. As well as there's another larger one here. These are typically used for trees. They call them tree tags, and the label is just put on. There's a barcode on there. You just tear off the little end, give it to the clerk, as opposed to having to bring this whole tree up to the cache, and they can scan it. And then of course, life. Exactly. So they could be even loaded into the truck and tear off the tag, bring it to the clerk, and scan it, and just save the time. We also have, this is of course a barcode printer. I'll just bring this up here so that everybody can see it. Is mainly used for customers that want to create barcodes for items that do not have UPC codes on them, may not have a box or so on. And of course Windward Software has the ability to generate barcodes based from the part number or a unique number in the software. There's various options we have in there that will ensure that when you scan the item, it sells the item that you want to scan.
So what happens, I guess, from an industry perspective, as barcodes and as adoption takes place in an industry, if a new barcode is associated by the manufacturer, what happens to the barcode that the customer is generating? Is that going to break?
Sure. That's actually one of the things we handle exceptionally well in the software. We have the capability, and a lot of people refer to this as the alternate supplier barcode. We can have, well, there's really no limit to the number of barcodes we can have associated to an item in System 5. I remember a number of years back that we had a customer that had close to 300 barcodes on one particular part, so that if he were to scan any of those barcodes, it would sell that one part. Yeah. So yeah, it's great, and we have customers that have that are utilizing not only the UPC code of the box, but they've also created their own label with their own barcode, so that if a clerk scans either barcode, it sells the appropriate part.
So to be able to print a barcode, do you have to go to an agency, or what does that look like to turn barcodes on, or to print your own barcode?
Exactly. Well, all you really need is a printer capable of printing barcodes. Now, that can be done using a laser printer with, like Avery labels or something along those lines. But if it's something that you're really serious about, you're much better off investing into a printer designed specifically for barcodes. There are some various models out there, but the particular ones from Eltron or Zebra are geared towards that, and the cost per label is much, much less than those other printers on the market. And they're just more geared for it, more designed for more, for
higher volume.
Higher volume, okay. And the cost per print is much, much less. And they just work better. So
what's this colorful one you've got there with a picture on the label?
Oh, yes, great. Quite commonly used in the lighting industry. As you can see, this is could be considered a price tag or even maybe a shelf label. But as you can see, we have the barcode here and, of course, a picture of the item. What does this do? Well, the biggest thing is we talk about eliminating user error. Well, this would definitely eliminate user error. A clerk putting this label on is definitely not going to put this label on the wrong part. I don't think this would go on light bulbs or anything like that. So yeah, and it looks great. It's a nice colorful label, and yeah.
Bob, did you bring an example of a barcode scanner, something you'd actually plug in at point of sale?
Absolutely, Kevin. I have one down here. Very common in the industry, a little USB barcode scanner here.
Okay.
And just essentially plug into your cash. Little trigger here for scanning the item, selling it, taking money, which is what everybody wants to do.
Okay. So. What information is actually stored on a barcode today?
Well, strangely enough, it's a common misconception that a barcode contains all kinds of relevant information about an item, be it the description, price, supplier, different price levels, and so on. Well, no. It's actually just a numeric representation of the item itself. The information that is tied to the item is actually stored in our software. So by scanning the barcode, it brings up the relevant information if required for an inventory lookup, or if you're in the process of selling the item, it just ensures that you are selling the correct item on the invoice by scanning the barcode.
So there is no pricing information on a barcode?
No pricing information whatsoever. Okay. Now that is all stored in the system.
Bob, I appreciate you taking the time today to talk about inventory and how barcodes are used in Windward Software Solutions. In the following episodes, we'll be covering off all the other aspects of barcodes and how they're used inside the business. Thank you for watching Windward TV.